So draw this with me in real time as I'm doing these boxes here. Ignorance. The only problem that exists in this entire world is ignorance. We just don't know. Why aren't you making $1 million per month? Because you just don't know how to yet. How come Bob isn't making $1 billion? Because maybe that's not his ambition and desire, or he's trying to figure out how to do it in this industry. All problems in the world start with ignorance. You just don't know. You don't know why something's happening. Okay, consciously, we can worry and we can doubt. So if you are there and you've been a worrier, worrying about money, worrying about this, that, the other thing, we're going to stop that. Worry and doubt. Doubting your skills, doubting that you're the one to be the highly successful person you keep saying out loud with your self-image. Doubting that you can make 3 times the amount of income in the next 30 days. Okay. Now, when we get emotionally involved with those ideas, and we become chronic worriers, chronic doubters, we're always worrying, we're always doubting, or we're always looking for the bad in things, that leads to a state of fear. You'll see this many times when somebody is just never satisfied. Now, not saying with the results, but never satisfied with the service they've been given, never satisfied with the product. They're always looking for the bad every single time. They've never found the good in anything. But when that happens, they're always in a very, very low state of uncertainty, state of doubt about themselves, and a very, very poor self-image. Okay. Leads to a state of fear. That fear registers physically as anxiety. So any of you have ever spoken before, your very first time on stage in front of people, you have a whole lot of anxiety, right? Because fear of what people are going to think of you, fear of failing and stuttering in front of people. You don't know if you're going to say everything right. So you're always thinking these weird thoughts. Okay, so that will lead us to a state of anxiety. We suppress the negative ideas and negative energy within us. We don't express it, right? People won't say, I am unhappy, right? Unless somebody says that, I've never heard that before, right? Or I'm very not excited, right? Nobody does that. So they don't express it, they suppress it. And the worst place to be in the world is depression. Now, some of you have lived this, okay? You're in a depressive state, it's the worst place to be. Leads to dis-ease. Hyphenated word. Dis-ease. Leads to literally disintegration of your results, your body, everything. Somebody's always in pain, somebody's always sick, somebody's always never has enough money. All these things are a poverty of the mind. It's a mental disease. If you don't have a lot of money and it's always in a lackful state, you are in a mental disease state around money. Now that sounds terrible, right? But that wakes you up. It says, wow, I have a mental disease around money. Mental disease, what it goes on is these weird thought patterns, right? Weird thought patterns around money when that isn't actually the reality. Okay. All right. A couple of words that we want to add in here. All negative emotion stems here. Anger is also here. Okay. Frustration. Okay. Does this make sense for everybody so far? Many of you have seen this before. We go through this in lesson 7, just explaining in a different light tonight. Okay, give me a quick hand raise if this makes sense so far on the left-hand side. Okay. Now we can see why we don't want to worry and we don't want to doubt, because it puts us into a state of fear. Okay, see almost everyone's hands here. I love it. All right, let's go on the left-hand side here. Before we move over to the right-hand side where we want to be, okay, think about these list of fears. Now, some people I've had tell me, I don't fear anything, Scott. It's like, we think it's almost like fear of the dark as a kid. They're afraid of things. They're afraid of a monster, afraid of Bigfoot, you know, these little weird things. That's what fear sounds like, right? But fear is a state. It's an imagined state that things are going wrong, okay? So here's some fears that maybe you were not thinking of previously, but that will run rampant throughout your body. Fear of running out of money. Big one. Fear of failing. There is no real source of failing. We'll talk about that. Fear of getting sick or disease. Fear of judgment from others. Fear of not doing everything you need to do to reach your dreams. Fear of loss. Fear of success. Scared to move forward, take that next step. And fear of age. There's many other fears as well. Those are the main ones. So many of you on this call will say, I actually don't really have any of those. Okay, I want to make sure that you know that. You can say that. But some of you, and some of you still like that say, I don't really think I have any of those. Some to really look deeply within. Say, wow, maybe I have been really thinking about this one. Maybe every day I am so in chaos mode because I'm fearing that I'm not going to accomplish that next thing in enough time. And what are people going to think when I'm not the one that did it as fast as other people? So these fears go a lot deeper, okay? And everyone has some sort of fear at some point, okay? Especially in business when you're moving forward and it's uncertain. Fears caused through uncertainty. Which ultimately leads to, this would be a great thing to write down for fear, is a state of uncertainty, a state of doubt, and trying to control everything. They are disallowing and not letting any of the good that they want to come to them. They are bottlenecking the spiritual energy that's coming to them. They're literally putting themselves in complete resistance. That'll be one of the words to write down over on the left-hand side here, resistance. Playing the blame game is over on that left-hand side. Always blaming somebody else why things aren't working, why your schedule is not lining up, why this isn't happening, why that's not happening, whatever it is. That's finding the bad. Okay. Now, it probably doesn't even feel that good to talk about it. Let's just not get emotionally involved with everything.